Hey, it is your buddy Peace and Harmony with you here today. Much love going out to the Empowered Harmonizers, and we're zooming in and focusing in on a great viewer question, and that was, will I ever have a normal relationship again? I find myself to be so addicted or so used to attracting these type of emotional manipulators into my life that I don't know if I will ever break the cycle. Will my life ever change? And so I want to zoom in and focus in on this. And before we get started, I just want to give a huge shout out to those of you who recently donated to the channel. Thank you so much. It's an honor and privilege to keep it going here for you and keep the content flowing. It's an absolute passion of mine. So thank you so much. And also real quick, for those of you who inquired about having the videos come into your news feed on a consistent basis, I do believe once in a while you have to interact with the videos, either putting a thumbs up or a thumbs down or click on the ads there, and it just shows some interaction. Otherwise the subscriptions tend to get purged. So thank you so much for your inquiries, and I want to zoom in and focus in on this viewer question today, and that was the fact that she feels like she's just staying stuck in this mode operandus of her lifestyle. In other words, she just continues to attract and feel comfortable, or this is just all that's around her, and she's wondering if this will ever change. And I want to give you a very wonderful answer, and that's unequivocally, positively yes. When you begin to change things within you, things within the universe at large will change as well. In other words, once you become more attuned to your rights as a human being, where you stand, what boundaries are, what positive regard is, what positive self-regard is, and begin to live on these tenets and these concepts and proactively keep aware of this and open up the filter in your life, you'll then be able to see more positive orderly direction thinking and stay away from the negative orderly direction thinking and those mindsets that got you into trouble that were set up in the first place. And I very much look at this like a template or like a blueprint. If you were looking at a house, you know that they start with some blueprints, and it's saying this room will be here, this staircase is here, the kitchen is here, and they build along those lines. Well, the value system, the human self-belief and value system, as well as positive self-regard or self-esteem, is built along these same lines. In other words, if the foundation doesn't have these tenets built in to the design or template or blueprint itself, then you are not going to experience this in your life. Just like if you don't have a blueprint for a kitchen in where you live, they're not going to have a kitchen. You will not be able to cook food. It is very much the exact same way when you are able to operate by positive self-regard, positive self-esteem, boundaries, standards for yourself, and furthermore, then attracting people who will be congruent with this energy within yourself. In other words, the vibration will attract like vibrations. So usually it's on a subconscious level. So those viewers who have said, I've been going on with this for a long period of time and I don't know why, it's oftentimes because this is now part of your unconscious. So the subconscious, we need to become aware of, and we need to make friends with this place. It is the part of you that operates 24/7. It is the part of you that sets your heart into motion, your lungs into motion. It keeps you going on automatic pilot, but also is the house and storehouse of things like your belief systems, what you believe about your self-beliefs, what you believe about life, what you believe about your Savior, your religion. That is in the unconscious mind, and it's always driving you. And just like these primal needs for food, shelter, sex, relationships, belonging, these are our primal drives. And then we have the etheric limbic brain, which is on top of that, which are the emotional layers. So you've got that primordial, or what they call reptilian or lizard brain, which is all your primal drives, which keep you eating when you're hungry, drinking when you're thirsty, seeking relationships. And then you've got your limbic brain, or the emotional etheric brain, which is on top of that, which is your emotions, your energy in motion, which helps you to make decisions and feel and get excited or sad or melancholy or depressed or anxious, or feel peace. And then on top of that, you've got the prefrontal cortex, which is the area of the brain which judges, which makes assessments of things, and oftentimes is very caught up in analysis. And then you've got the prefrontal cortex of your mind, which allows you to use wise judgment and dreaming, envisioning a life for your future. So if you have then had inherent or deep embedded within your subconscious mind the feeling, I am not good enough, I am unlovable, I am meek, I do not deserve. So if all those are built into your template, then you can see how then rooms of the house or rooms of your life will then be built to attract that very experience. In other words, if you have a blueprint for a garage, a car goes in there. If you have a blueprint for low self-esteem, then violators go in there. It's very much an attraction. You need to understand the law of correspondence, that is part of the law of attraction, is that like attracts like. So if you've drawn this into your life and you're saying no more, I want to extricate, I want to get rid of this, we need to understand subconsciously that this is oftentimes where those self-limiting beliefs are. So we need to kind of get into that peaceful, mindful, metacognitive mode to get in there and unearth those negative programs. It is very much like a program, as we've said, like in a computer, like a hard drive. It's what's operating the system. It's the same way. So we need to be able to get in there and flood that subconscious with the positive, and then start dissolving or removing those negative templates. So oftentimes, sometimes you're aware, sometimes you're not aware of when those blueprints were erected in your subconscious. So it might have been, oftentimes it's through the ages of 0 and 5, where those images were set up, those messages were received. You then, went through your developmental stages, either in a positive, orderly direction or a negative. Maybe you didn't meet those next developmental stages and you never carried with you the feeling of being industrious, autonomous, having positive self-regard. Maybe you went into the shaming route, the depression route, lack of, feeling of lack of integrity about yourself or low self-esteem, and then attracting the low integrity to you. Do you see how like very much will attract like? But it's possible to change those. And so if you've been attracting this, it's time to really get into the nitty-gritty, roll your sleeves up, and get into a very peaceful, mindful state, which is what we really recommend, especially doing this through your automatic writing, where you're able to just let the floodgates open and just write from the subconscious, and you're able to unearth and see some of those magnificent things right before your eyes. Sometimes you've got a lot of things going on underneath there, but you don't know until you begin your automatic writing, your recovery journal in the morning, filling up those 3 pages to see what's going on under there. And you can also see the solutions just popping up because your mind does, your subconscious mind, your limbic brain is ready to support those primal needs and to get those met in a positive way. So we want to get you out of that negative orderly direction thinking and into the positive orderly direction thinking, so you can essentially begin to have new feelings and a new template, new neural pathways within the mind, which are the neurons, the axons, the dendrites, forming connections in the mind. So they like to repeat themselves. They like to repeat patterns again and again and again, just like you might always find, a way to the grocery store or a way to your workplace. You've got a set route. The mind, the neural pathways of the mind are very much the same way. They like to go to where they've gone before and then recruit other areas of the mind right around them to support it. So that's why we see these general, brushstroke sort of feelings. I'm not good enough. I can't cook. I can't attract the right person. I can't become educated. I can't. I'm not. I will never become wealthy. I will never attract this. I'll never be able to travel there. Everything becomes then recruited into the negative orderly direction of thinking. So we need to realize that that is the cause that has created the effect in your life. So that is the cause of the effect, which means you're drawing these same ne'er-do-wells or cognitive, a covert narcissist or psychopathic, emotionally manipulative people who are lacking in empathy, who are lacking in positive regard for others. They're indicated by a pathological sense of self-importance and exploitativeness, which that's how they get the, you don't want to be on the other side of the coin to that person. They always need another side of the coin. They always need somebody with which to compete with or to use as supply or as a target. So you don't want to be in that role. You don't want to sign up for that anymore. So the best way is to look at redesigning or rewriting your template, very much like a treasure map. You know, instead of going here into the underground, we're going to go around here to the scenic view. That's what your recovery journal is all about. That is what your recovery dates are all about. That is what your astramations are all about. Your positive orderly direction thinking is to give yourself a chance to become aware of some of those negative templates and dissolve those and see how, you know, where they were embedded, where they were put in, and to see how they're no longer serving you, and furthermore, no longer required for you to operate. In fact, it's causing you to lead unhappy, unfulfilling, or dysfunctional life. So we want to get rid of those at the primal level. So it's in those primal drives. And you see how all those layers then would work cohesively, but then leave you thinking like, I want to change. I know I'm meant for something better. So we must get congruent. We must recognize you have those primal needs for food, shelter, belonging, sex, all those primal drives, but we want to get them, you know, organized and orchestrated so that they're in the positive, orderly direction thinking mode, where your emotions then are supportive of that, and you're not then overanalyzing things. So that's why we talk about living from the heart, or getting into that metacognitive state where you're able to see from above your own decisions and how this was set up, and saying, consciously becoming aware, those negative self-limiting beliefs no longer serve me. Even if you're holding on to them for dear life, this is who I am, peace and harmony. Who would I be if I didn't have to worry? Who would I be if I wasn't chronically abused? Who would I be if I wasn't constantly, you know, around these people? I don't know how to live. So it's those very questions that we need to reframe and ask different questions so that you can open up the positive and begin to walk that talk. And oftentimes we need to ask those questions by asking, you know, the contrary. We need to ask you, you know, and free up that subconscious part of your mind that does know the answer. In other words, if I didn't feel so guilty and keep stuck by being around these same group of people, I would really love to and envision myself becoming, and then fill in the answer. Rather than being scolded, criticized, or yelled at, another form of treatment that I really desire in my life is, okay, fill in these questions, fill in the blanks. Because when you do that, you're able to see yourself being treated in the positive. And give yourself a chance to then prime your subconscious with those positive images. Oh, but that's so simple. Well, amen to that. Isn't it nice that there can be a simple way for you to upgrade your life and help eradicate some of those negative templates or negative blueprints? And rather than being emotionally guided to those, being able to stop being guided by those. So yes, unequivocally, you will begin to have new feelings, and you will become a new person. You will begin to learn to treat yourself with positive self-regard. You will learn to then open up the filters and see what you deserve to receive, and then become comfortable with that, and being able to generate emotion and retempo your life. So changing your routine. Instead of going to the bar or going to this or going around these people, you then make new choices and new decisions which lead to a different outcome. So unequivocally, yes. So you must ask yourself these unearthing questions to get to the answers in your subconscious mind. In other words, if I didn't have to worry all the time, or live under such judgment, if I wasn't constantly on trial all the time, I would really love to become ... If I didn't have to be around others who had authority over me and constantly judging me, I would really love to have relationships that... and then fill in the answer. If I didn't feel so guilty about feeling good, I would really love to become ... Okay? And to realize that oftentimes the emotions of guilt and worry and shame are the three ineffective emotions and most invaluable emotions. They keep you stuck. But hitherto, see how this contradicts the struggle where maybe you were told that, there's healthy shame. You must live by shame. You must live by worry. You must live by fear. It keeps you on your toes. It keeps you alert. It's not to say that you will never worry, or, you won't have these flashbacks, or these temporary lapse into these states, but it's realizing that, you want to really minimize those states of worry, guilt, shame, abhorrence, in being around, the judgment and the criticism. You want to get these and dissolve these out of your life 100%. They are not effective to the best supportive ways of your life and relationships, of all different types of relationship, your job, your hobbies, your interests. You need to be able to operate in confidence and positive self-regard, and it is going to feel different. It is going to look different. You may dress differently. You may have a different tempo to your day. You may eat differently. You may find yourself going, solo for a while you're purging your system of these negative types, and then being able to then, re-alchemize yourself and then reset the neural networks that are going on within your brain, your body, and, while you're engaging in that, and you're becoming much more peaceful. So where you usually had to feel like you had to go, 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 and struggle, 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 that is not the answer anymore, to be the go, 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 struggle, 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 break myself down, over obligate. That is leading you into negative early direction thinking, the self-doubt, the exhaustion, the worry, the depression, the disappointment, and furthermore, the feeling that you have to control the viewpoints of others. Let go of that need to control the outlook of others and how they assess on things, and let go of the worry of how you feel other people think about you, because it does not matter. That is the new priority. Self-care is the new, guilt. Rather than learning by guilt, live on positive self-regard and being able to see yourself in the positive. And pretty soon your eyes will change for yourself. Your eyes for others will change for yourself. And the filter that was keeping things gunked up and gloomy, doomy, and, keeping you feeling like I will never, the I will nevers, change, that filter will be removed. You'll be able to pull that out and see things through a little lighter, peppier step. And you'll find that, you're attracted to people who are actually good for you and who get the real you, not the person who wants you to become a specific person just to please them. It is your buddy, Peace and Harmony, with you here today, and I hope that these videos do help. Please share and please subscribe for more great tools, videos, discussion, and support.